Hey guys, welcome to my legal classes. This is Ganesh Pujari and today I am continuing class on process to compel appearance. Yes, I said I am continuing because I have already conducted one class on this particular chapter. Now, chapter 6 has 30 sections in which we have already covered first part, which is on summons, and this video will be second part, which will be covering warrant of arrest, which is from section 70 to 81, and my next video, which is part 3, proclamation and attachment, will cover section 82 to section 90. To find all these three videos, all you need to do is go to my playlist criminal procedure code. You find every one of them. With that, let's get into warrant. First thing first, let us try understand the term meaning of warrant. As per dictionary, warrant is a document issued by a legal or government official authorizing the police or another body to make an arrest, search premises, or carry out some other action relating to the administration of justice. Now, CrPC has not defined the term warrant, but we cannot write that in exam. So, for your easiness, I will define warrant as it is an order of the court to arrest a person accused of an offence at whatever place he is found. I have brought 5 important aspects in this definition. First one, warrant is an order and issued by whom? Issued by court for what? To arrest a person. Which person? Who is accused of an offence. And the last point, at whatever place he is found. If all these 5 aspects are available, then we can call that as document as warrant. With that, let's move to the next slide. Now the next question, against whom a magistrate can issue a warrant. I have brought the list as below. Against a person accused of an offence, or against a person required to be a witness, or against a person for breach of bond, or against a person who is required to show cause against a magistrate order, or against a person who is acquitted in a case but appeal had been presented against the order of acquittal. In all these cases, a magistrate can issue warrant. With that, let's move to the next slide. Now that we know the meaning of warrant and against whom warrant is issued, the next important question is, what are the essentials of a warrant? Now section 70 deals with form of warrant of arrest and duration, where there are 4 important essentials defined. They are, it should be in written form and it should be signed by the presiding officer of the court, and it should be having the seal of the court, and it shall remain in force until it is cancelled by the court which issues it, or until it is executed. I have brought some other essentials, so the slide looks little busy, but it is one of the easiest slides that you can go through. The other essentials are like, the warrant must state the name, address, designation of the individual who is executing it, and it should also mention very clearly the name, address and description of the person against whom the warrant is issued. That's very important because a wrong description can lead to a wrong person, which is wrong as per law. So it should contain the clear name and address of the person and description of the person against whom the warrant is issued. And warrant must state the offence for what such warrant is issued. That is very important. Offence should be very clearly defined, and the person who is issuing the warrant, the magistrate, should have clear knowledge of that offence before issuing the warrant. After issuing the warrant, he should not start studying which offence he has committed. That's very important. And it should be in a sealed form, and it should be in prescribed form, and the signature of presiding officer should be easily and clearly visible. That's very important. With that, let's move to the next slide. Now the next question is, can an officer release the person whom he has arrested based on warrant? Are there any provision on this? Yes, there is a provision in Criminal Procedure Code, that is section number 71, which discusses about power to direct security to be taken. That means a person can be released by the officer who has arrested him based on a warrant if there is a security endorsement given for that person. But that security endorsement should contain the number of sureties, the amount in which they and the person for whose arrest the warrant is issued are to be respectively bound, and the very important aspect is the time at which he is to attend before the court. That should be defined very clearly. With all these 3 requirements, a person can be released after arrest based on a warrant. With that, let's move ahead. The next important question is, who is going to do the administrative part of an warrant? That means arresting a person. Who is going to do? That will be directed from the court, which is discussed under section number 72, which says warrants to whom directed? Now you know the answer. It is basically police officer, right? Yes, generally it will be a police officer or police officers who will be directed to arrest a person. But in an extraordinary situation, that means if no police officer or officers available, in such case court can ask any person or persons to arrest somebody based on a warrant. Now if it is given to an individual person, singular, then that person will do the direction part or arresting part. But if it is given to multiple people, any one of them can do that part, or they can together do a arrest. That is possible as per section number 72. Now such directions are divided into two types, which are discussed under section number 73 and 74, which I am going to explain in my next slide. Section number 73 and 74 are very easy sections. They discusses about types of direction. Now section 73 says court can direct any person to arrest a person who is escaped convict or proclaimed offender, or who is a convict under a non-bailable offense. In such case, court can ask any person to arrest based on a warrant. In such case, court needs to give a written warrant to that person, and when such person arrests that convicted person, he has to immediately deliver such person to the nearest police station. That is very important. And section 74 discusses about warrant directed to police officer. Whosoever name is mentioned in that warrant as a arresting officer, that police officer only needs to go and take such person into custody. That is very important. With that, let's move ahead. In this slide, I have tried covering three important aspects from the section number 75 to 77. Now, while watching many of the movies, a police officer come to arrest a person, and such person asks the officer that, do you have a warrant? And police officer says, yes, I have a warrant. Is it really required to show such warrant? That is what precisely discussed under section number 75. Section number 75 says two important things. The first one, the officer who is arresting a person should explain him that why he is being taken into custody. That is very important, or why he is being arrested, and he needs to show the copy of the warrant if it is asked. That is as per section number 75. Now section number 76 says such person whom the officer has arrested should brought to court as early as possible. When I say as early as possible, it should not cross 24 hours unless there is an exception, which is for traveling. If traveling has taken a lot of time, which makes very difficult for the officer to bring him to the court, in such case that becomes an exception, but the officer should very clearly in detail explain to the court why he couldn't bring such person to the court within 24 hours. Now sometime as per section number 71, we take a security endorsement and release a person. In such case, this 24-hour bar will not arise. Now the section 77 discusses about where warrant may be executed. Warrant may be executed anywhere from India. That's what discussed under section number 77. With that, let's move to the next slide. Section number 78 and 79 discuss about warrant issued outside the jurisdiction. What happens if a magistrate is issuing a warrant, but such person is outside the jurisdiction of such magistrate? In that case, magistrate need to forward an execution outside the jurisdiction, that is to the DSP or Commissioner of Police of such jurisdiction, which is discussed under section number 78. And the officer who is going to arrest such person as per the warrant need to take an endorsement from such officer as per section number 79. Now, when he is taking endorsement from such DSP or Commissioner of Police, they need to ensure that they support such officer with their police force also if required. Now, if there is any delay happens because of taking that endorsement, it becomes an exception. The officer can go ahead and arrest a person without endorsement, because such delay should not cause an escape of a accused person. That's very important. With that, let's move to the next slide. The last two sections pertaining to warrant, that is section number 80 and 81, discusses about procedure after execution of warrant. Section 80 says procedure of arrest of person against whom warrant is issued. If the jurisdiction of the arrest is more than 30 kilometers, in such case the arrested person shall be taken before such magistrate or district superintendent or commissioner of that jurisdiction. He will not brought into the magistrate, in front of the magistrate who actually issued the warrant. That is possible when it is more than 30 kilometers. And procedure by magistrate before whom such person arrested is brought as per section number 81. Police officer may take security endorsement and release him as per section number 71, or magistrate can decide on bail or bond, etc. That is possible as per section number 81. With that, I am concluding this session. So the part 3 is available in my playlist. Please watch that also. Please subscribe my channel, like, share and comment my videos. Thank you so much for watching me. If you want to watch the same content in Hindi, please subscribe my other channel, Kachi Hindi Pakki Law. The videos there will come by October 2019. Thank you so much and all the very best.